Agni is a great utility mage that quite literally rains hellfire on the battlefield. Let's talk about it. Hello there everyone, it's me, Keltick, your Smite professor, here today to talk about the basics on how to both play and build Agni within Smite. Let's start by talking about abilities. So we're going to actually start with Agni's core abilities because the passive ties into them in a very different way than other gods that I've talked about. Now, for Agni's first ability, it's this giant puddle called Noxious Fumes. Any other of Agni's abilities that interact with this circle are going to be causing enemies in this circle to be stunned. Now, Agni's second ability is called Flame Wave. He basically shoots forth a flame wave. This does damage and can, as previously mentioned, detonate Noxious Fumes. Agni's third ability is Path of Flames. He dashes and he leaves behind a path of flames. Now obviously enemies that walk on the path of flames are going to take some damage. Once again, the fire itself can be used to ignite the noxious fumes, and further to this, Agni is knock up and knock back immune during the channeled dash. Now Agni's ultimate is called Rain Fire, and it behaves differently than any other ultimate in this game. Every 18 seconds, Agni is going to gain a charge of this ability. And this ability is a giant circle that is basically just a meteor falling from the sky. This meteor is going to deal damage in an area. It can also detonate noxious fumes. So now that we know what the core abilities are, Agni's passive is as follows. Basically, after you've landed 4 auto attacks on anything, Agni's next second ability or ultimate ability cast is going to have an additional effect on it. And this additional effect is a damage over time effect. Basically, the ball of flame or the flame wave is going to deal extra damage over time to the targets that are hit by that ability. You have to charge this passive up by landing auto attacks. Remember that. So now that we understand the basics of Agni's abilities, let's quickly touch on a build. Now, for Agni, we are going all in to cooldown reduction. This build prioritizes poke and prioritizes burst poke. Agni's ultimate ability, which is honestly should just be treated like a 4th button that you can just let rip, is on an 18-second cooldown. You are a very poke heavy mage. You are looking to land that giant stun as often as possible. This build is looking to maximize that by maxing out your cooldown reduction, and the reason we're building Soul Gem is because you can apply and get those stacks up really easily, and you can just constantly keep hitting people to keep refreshing the stacks, keep popping that passive, and have a good time with it. Now, there is something very important that I need to cover here. In order to make the most out of Agni, you need to get the giant stun. Remember, the stun is where Noxious Fumes or the first ability is placed. So here are your combos. You fire out the giant meteor charge from your ultimate. That is a giant circle. You then are going to place the stun after you have started channeling the meteor. This means that even if the enemy is going to be trying to dodge the meteor strike, you can still land the stun. Because as long as the giant circle from the meteor and the giant circle from the noxious fumes intersect by a pixel, the noxious fumes is going to detonate and stun the target. After you stun the target, you can then follow up and deal damage, but get that stun. Another thing that you probably didn't consider is you can actually trigger the stun out of Agni's second ability. As the flame wave pushes forward, it actually persists in the area a lot longer than it looks like it does. So if you press your second ability and then immediately fire noxious fumes into that general area, it will detonate. Trust me, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it does work. Now that is all the time I have to talk about Agni. Get out there and rain hell. Now, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to this channel. I'm all about making your experience just a little bit better. And if you want to keep learning Smite with me right now, click that video on your screen and I will see you there. Otherwise, have yourselves a casual day and I will see you in the next video.